is glad to have you joining us on NTA International News, coming to you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. I am Usman Aliu. Now the headlines. National Livestock Transformation Plan targets attainment of sustainable peace and development. Presidential election petition court set to deliver judgment Wednesday. And Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation supports Nigeria's agricultural program. Now the details of the news. President Muhammadu Buhari has described as unfortunate, disturbing and counterproductive the undue politicization of the nation's security situation. This was while exchanging views with a group of promoters of the proposed African Security Leadership Summit in Abuja. State House correspondent Adam Musambo has details.
President Muhammadu Buhari said no matter how much the revisionists try to distort history, records are there to show the significant achievements recorded by his administration in the area of security since coming to power in 2015. He said despite the politicization of the security situation, the governing APC knows exactly what remains to be done and clearly how to do it in the greater interests of the country. The president lauded the plan to convene a high-powered security summit that will bring together some of the leaders on the African continent, defense attachés, embassies and high commissions, leadership of the defense community in Nigeria, and many others to chart the best way forward. He described the proposed security summit as a patriotic gesture and a great test for the organizers, which the government will support tremendously. Organizers of the planned summit under the auspices of Global Initiative for Leadership Success were led to the State House by board chairman, retired Major General Abdullahi Bagudu Mamman. He told the president that the group share in the conviction of his administration towards addressing the challenges bedeviling the country. General Bagudu Mamman noted that on President Buhari's assumption of office in 2015, parts of the country had been acquired by Boko Haram insurgents, which have not only been reclaimed through the seriousness and genuine commitment of his administration, but Boko Haram has also been truly degraded while other forms of criminality are being addressed. The royal father said the summit, to hold possibly in October, is being convoked to involve the entire security architecture in Nigeria under the theme Sustaining the Security Renaissance of Nigeria. The event will also feature honors award for those who have excelled in the area of security, as well as the launch of an endowment fund to cater for families of those who pay the supreme price and provide care for the ones permanently maimed. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Still from the State House, President Muhammadu Buhari said the remnants of Boko Haram insurgents in the northeastern region of the country are bandits and will be treated as such by the federal government. President Buhari stated this while receiving an audience visiting President of the International Committee of the Red Cross, Mr. Peter Morey. Details of the report will come in a subsequent bulletin. Police say the ban on procession in the country is applicable only to members of the proscribed Islamic movement in Nigeria. It says consequently other Muslims marking the commemoration of Ashura throughout the country along with other Muslims across the world are free to carry out the annual Ashura procession. An official statement by the first public relations officer, Frank Mba, says they should do so within the confines of the law and guard against infiltration by unscrupulous elements who may want to take advantage of the event to cause disruption of public peace, order and security. Accordingly, the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has directed all Assistant Inspectors General of Police and Commissioners of Police in zones and commands to give full effect to the above clarification and ensure that non-IMN Muslims are not in any way restricted from exercising their freedom of religion, worship and peaceful assembly. The IGP enjoins members of the public to become and go about their lawful businesses as the force is doing all within its capacity to ensure there is no breach of the peace, unity and order in the country. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has described as fulfilling and promising the National Livestock Transformation Plan for the attainment of sustainable peace and development. Yusuf Jika reports that this was when the Vice President flagged off the plane in Yola, Adamawa State. The report.
Adamawa State is among the 7 pilot states of the National Livestock Transformation Plan and has earmarked 5 grazing reserves out of the 31 gazetted with a total landmass of 60,000 hectares. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, while flagging off the plan in Gongoshi Grazing Reserve in Mayabalwa, said the plan is at the instance of the height of farmers' hardest clash to provide for the solution to the menace. He reveals that the plan is in collaboration with the state governments to achieve the desired goal of peace and ensure modernization of livestock industry.
The introduction of the National Livestock Transformation Plan is a win-win for the state and its people. The plan will provide a basis for peaceful coexistence and jobs for many, and a mechanism for resolving disputes of various kinds.
Governor Amadou Umaru Fintri underscores some of the benefits of the plan, describing it as win-win situation.
Being itself one of the victim states of the farmer-harder crisis. As a government, we believe that the NLTP is a solution to the much-desired peaceful coexistence among our people.
Sorry for the abrupt ending. Now to judicial matters. The Presidential Election Petition Court is set to deliver judgment in the petition filed by the People's Democratic Party and its candidate Atiku Abubakar on the 11th of September in Abuja. The petitioners are challenging the election of President Muhammadu Buhari in the February 23, 2019 presidential election. The PDP is challenging the conduct of the election in 11 states of the Federation. Councils in the matter adopted their final written addresses on August 21, 2019. Justice Mohammed Garba is the chairman of the 5-man panel. And now records reveal that Nigeria is among countries with high cases of road accidents in Africa. These accidents often associated with negligence and bad roads, among other identified factors. To this end, Road Users Network of Nigeria, with relevant authorities, including the Nigerian Television Authority, are finding ways towards reducing road crashes in the country. Rachel Shaibu reports.
Sounds of vehicle engines, horns and bells from cyclists are what is often heard on Nigerian roads. These sounds usually put passers-by or the vehicle ahead on alert to avoid being hit or run over. Road and caution signs, as well as zebra crossings, serve as a guide to drivers, cyclists and pedestrians to avoid accidents. In spite of this, all road crashes and accidents involving motorists and passers-by remain high in Nigeria, considering reports by the Federal Road Safety Corps.
Road safety issues are taken seriously by all the public, not minding whether you are within the fold of agencies that are involved in managing road traffic in the country.
To this end, Road Users Network of Nigeria is advocating efficiency in traffic system to ensure the safety of road users in the country. This came to the fore at the network's maiden National Traffic Summit in Abuja.
Until every citizen takes responsibility while on the road, either via a text message or a phone call, it will not go well in building a healthy road culture in Nigeria.
What role does the broadcast media like the NTA play in educating Nigerians on road traffic regulations? Executive Director, Administration and Training, Steve Egbo speaks.
NTA is part of schedule to educate Nigerians on the need to be responsible, to be polite, to be respectful to other road users.
The theme of the summit is Traffic Report, a tool to enhance road safety in Nigeria. Rachel Shaibu, NTA News.
The United Kingdom has restated the debate on Brexit will not take a toll on relations with Nigeria, but will rather enhance existing ties. British Deputy High Commissioner to Nigeria, Gil Atkinson, said this during a meeting with Secretary to the
allies since the end of colonial 1960. Both Commonwealth nations have consistently worked together on various bilateral relations, especially areas of security and development, to strengthen mutual prosperity and tackle mutual threats. The British Deputy High Commissioner Gil Atkinson, who recently assumed office, says her country is eager to consolidate on all existing ties with Nigeria.
One of the implications of Brexit for our friends. So for Nigeria, you are a friend that we have had for a long time, and an important friend. So I see Brexit as something which will strengthen our relationship.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, says Nigeria cherishes its relations with Britain and will spare no effort in boosting trade, investment and development between the two countries.
We've already started discussing on different issues of the people.
Gil Atkinson was appointed British Deputy High Commissioner to Nigeria in July 2019. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
In another development, Yobe State government is seeking collaboration with United Nations Development Program to rebuild some critical infrastructure destroyed by insurgency in the state. The state governor, Maimala Buni, made the request when he received the UNDP resident representative, Mohammed Yahya, at the Governor's Lodge in Abuja. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu now reports.
The United Nations Development Program, UNDP, has been putting in place critical infrastructure in the northeast with major focus on Borno, Yobe and Adamawa states as a result of Boko Haram insurgency in the area. The UNDP resident representative, Mohammed Yahya, said the United Nations has been working in the northeast, putting structures in place for the betterment of the affected people.
We discussed the need to bring about stabilization programs around areas that have been affected by Boko Haram activities and how we can help the state recover and ensure that it goes through the pathways for its own development agenda.
Yobe State is considered one of the worst hit areas by Boko Haram as its major critical infrastructure were destroyed. The state government, under the leadership of Governor Maimala Buni, initiated some projects towards rebuilding the infrastructure and rekindling the hope of the people. Part of the initiative are geared towards revitalizing the education system that will help the children affected by insurgency access quality education. Agriculture to empower the youth, improve water and sanitation, and access to quality health to improve maternal health and reduce mortality rates.
With our country earmarked to receive over $36 million from the Regional Stabilization Fund during the first 2 years of implementation, we would like for the UNDP to key in and support the implementation of key development programs that we have initiated in our states.
As the security situation continues to improve in Yobe State and people who have fled their communities because of Boko Haram insurgency now returning to their communities, these projects initiated by the state government, experts say, can rejuvenate activities in the affected areas. In Abuja, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
You are watching the news on NTA International, live from Abuja. At this time, we'll go for a break. We'll be back in just a moment. Stay with us.
Hey, you! And are you how they talk to? I sabi you now. It's in day your mind, Abi. The person with them go help us. Baba Toros and Shangalo. Oga Lekuva, Mr. Sabi. And you know if we carry last for this one.
A spear into the top corner.
We Sabi say Peking go crawl before in waka. So don't look, no help anybody. No dolly, no. So go for him. Go for football. Go for all Syria on the Liga Marches live. Go for Go TV Max.
NTA International News. Africa as it is.
Thanks for staying with us. The 2019 NTA Engineering Conference is prospecting new ways to balance quality transmission and technological innovation through maintenance. Engineering operations are at the base of television transmission, and improving engineering maintenance align with NTA's quest to improve on quality. Francis Form reports.
24 hours a day and 7 days a week, councils are head of master control unit here at the NTA headquarters. She's been here for about 17 years. Engineer Peace and her colleagues are attending the engineering conference to explore new and improved ways of engineering operations. For them, this conference is a wake-up call for engineers in the NTA to ensure proper maintenance of broadcast equipment.
If we maintain our equipment, the equipment will serve us better.
In other words, those equipment will be available at all times and they will be reliable.
The Executive Director of Engineering says he expects engineers in all NTA stations to see broadcast equipment as handkerchiefs, which must be kept clean at all times.
You should clean it, repair, do alignment, do adjustment, and ensure equipment work.
Director General of NTA Malam Yakub Ibn Mohammed, who declared the conference open, acknowledged the contribution of engineers to the successes recorded in the last 3.5 years and urged them to give adequate attention to system maintenance.
Even when times are good, even when you have all the money in the world, money, is not meant to be thrown away, right? You must give consideration to maintenance, right? And maintenance is key, to the consolidation of the modest achievements were made.
The theme of the conference is the relevance of maintenance in television broadcasting. In Abuja, Francis Form, NTA News.
The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has pledged to support Nigeria's agricultural program through investment in area of research. Deputy Director Agricultural Development Tom Kiho, while interacting with the Nigeria's Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Sabona Nono, says the foundation investment are backing efforts to develop disease-resistant varieties that are more nutritious and can be easily processed. The key goal, he says, is to support innovations that can help farmers adapt climate-smart initiatives in crop production. Sabona Nono describes research as strategic in developing the agriculture and food security. He says the ministry will work with Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation towards improving livelihood of rural farmers. And now, with several protocols and trade articles yielding less results in improving trade volume among member countries, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, is initiating new interventions to facilitate trade in sub-region. Officials from trade ministries of member countries are in Abuja to review and evaluate the interventions. Kelvin Ehonoye has details.
14 out of the 16 member countries are already implementing the ECOWAS Common External Tariff in furtherance of the ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme adopted in 2013. Despite this, very little has been achieved in scaling up trade among member countries. For instance, Nigeria manufactured exports to ECOWAS countries still fluctuates around 5.4%, while agricultural produce exports dropped from 4.4% in 2010 to 0.5% in 2017. Nigerian delegation to this meeting say lack of synergy in implementing trade policy in the sub-region remains a challenge.
And also ensuring that we meet our international commitment from the Trade Facilitation Agreement and from the Regional Trade Integration Program in West Africa. So these are paramount issues of important to us.
Improving transport infrastructure, enforcement of anti-trade barriers policies, including ECOWAS Customs Code, are some of the new initiatives proposed to ease and increase trade in the sub-region.
Number one, we have the ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme,
which is a scheme to try and promote businesses to register so that once they've registered, their products can move freely within the community. So for example, a Nigerian business that meets all the requirements will register, and by doing so, it can send its goods all the way to Senegal, to Cape Verde, to Benin, without having to pay any tax.
The ECOWAS Commission is optimistic that it can achieve the single currency policy in 2020, a move expected to further improve multilateral trade in the sub-region. In Abuja, Kelvin Ebonwaye, NTA News.
The 61st meeting of the United Nations World Tourism Organization's Commission for Africa, hosted by Nigeria in July 2018, got a resounding applause from member countries attending the 23rd General Assembly, which is underway in St. Petersburg, Russia. Anthony Fossen has details of the report.
The opening session of the 23rd General Assembly drew comments from the delegates who, in quick succession, applauded Nigeria for a successful hosting despite misgivings. Chairman of the United Nations World Tourism Organization Commission for Africa, Najib Balala, who is the current Cabinet Secretary for Tourism in Kenya, rated Nigeria this way.
When we were in Abuja, we had almost house full. Most of African colleagues attended the Commission meeting. So that shows that we within ourselves, we go and travel to different countries and very supportive. So Abuja was a successful meeting, and the declaration today, I have narrated here, the 10 points were all discussed in Abuja. So that declaration in Abuja was very crucial for the roadmap for Africa 2030.
Reading the organization's 10-point agenda from now to year 2030, the United Nations World Tourism Organization Secretary General Zura Pololikashvili said the agenda will be driven by the experience displayed by Nigeria at the 61st Abuja meeting. It will be tied to branding, travel facility, statistics, capacity building, innovation and technology, safety and security, investment, youth and women empowerment, an agenda that is sustainable and will promote and protect cultural heritage. For Nigeria's Information and Culture Minister, who is the Vice President of the General Assembly, the applause and commendation for Nigeria is a testimony of the true situation as against fake news and disinformation by mischief makers about the country.
The antidote to fake news is traveling. When you go to visit a place, it's the easiest way to actually debunk, the kind of fake news or falsehood about that country. Our hosting of our CAF in 2018 went a long way in debunking the fake news about Nigeria. It redefined what Nigeria really was. That Nigeria was actually, a tourist destination. That Nigeria is actually the engine of the economy of Africa. And the fact that they traveled the length and breadth of Nigeria during that period, they were able to appreciate that the Boko Haram was just, a kind of malaise that was restricted to one part of the country, and that the government was doing everything to contain it. But many of them felt so excited about their visit to Nigeria, they want to come back.
Deliberations at this assembly continues. From St. Petersburg in the Russian Republic, Anthony Fossen, NTA News.
And back home in Abuja, President Muhammadu Buhari Sandamu, who have served him and his family for more than 30 years. The President, in a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, described the deceased as a good and honest caretaker. The President sent a delegation to the family of the bereaved in Sandam local government area of Katsina State. The delegation comprised Senior Special Assistant, Domestic and Household Matters, Sarki Abba, Senior Special Assistant, Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, State Chief Protocol, Ambassador Lawal Kazauri, and the President's housekeeper, Saleh Guda. He died at Amin Kano Teaching Hospital on Monday. And that's the news on the hour on NTA International. Thanks for watching us. Bye for me.